Hello everyone, it's Angie here at Beads and Plenty More. Today I thought I'd show you how to do some daisy chain work. And I did this into an eyeglass holder, so I've got a little piece that goes on eyeglasses on the end of my ends. So, getting started materials wise, these are size 10 seed beads and I picked a few colors. This is a size 8 seed bead. On this one I actually used a crystal, and it's a 3mm crystal. You could use either a 2mm crystal or you can use a small 3mm in the center of your flowers. But I'm going to swap that out for the size 8 seed bead. I've got some wire guardians. I have a couple jump rings, and the reason I like to use the jump rings is because on these eyeglass holder pieces, sometimes over time they'll wear out, and if you've got a jump ring on there, you can swap them out for a new piece without having to rethread your entire piece. So we'll just move this off to the side here and I'll get started. So I'm working, this time I'm working with 8-pound fireline, and the reason that I went as heavy as that is because these get a lot of wear and tear when people use them, so you want something that's nice and durable, that's going to last. Another product that you could use is this Eslon Fire. It's a little bit heavier, so I'm only using 6-pound if I'd use that instead of the 8-pound. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch up and through my wire guardian first. And I can see I've already got marks from I'm using the smoke fire line, and it will leave marks on it kind of wears off a little bit as you're working. And I'm just going to take this and squeeze in so that it's sitting tight. Now I'm going to leave the tail end long enough that I could thread a needle on it and run it back through a few beads. It's a good way to reinforce this clasp area, which is also an area that also gets a lot of wear and tear. And if I can get my knot in there. So just tie a knot that'll hold everything in place there. So the wire guardian is hooked onto the jump ring, which is on the eyeglass holder piece. All right, so there we go. There's our start. So we'll ignore that tail end for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 8 of my size 10 seed beads. And once I have them, I'll pull them down on my thread. And what I want to do is I want to stitch through them one more time. So starting from where I started with the first one, I'm going to go through all 8 of them again. And what that'll do is it'll pull everything into a circle. So if I just, oh, and I've got a bit of a gap here, just get that pulled out, get it nice and tight to the wire guardian. There we go, got my circle. Now, ready to add the center bead into that circle. And to do that, I'm actually going to stitch over one bead, and this will make sense on the next one. I just don't want to be right next to my clasp area. And I'm going to add my center bead, which is my size 8 seed bead. And what I want to do is I want to lay this in diagonally across. So lay it diagonally, and I'm going to pick up the 2 beads on the other side and come back down. So this is a little hard to see when all the beads are the same color, but now I'm going to do my greenery in between my bead. So I've got the full flower here, and then I've got, in this case, the brown, but I'm going to use green instead to make it look more like it's the greenery in between a flower. So I'm going to add 2 of those. I'm going to add 2 of my next color flower, and then 2 more. And I'm going to loop my thread around. So my thread is coming out this bead here, and I'm going to go through 2 beads. So we talk about flowers being the circle of beads around the center, but I want you to kind of envision this as more of a square. So you've got the 2 beads from the previous flower here. You've got 2 green beads on each side, and you've got 2 beads to the next flower. So when I put the center in, it's a little more obvious on this one where you're going. You're going to lay it across diagonally, and you're going to come through the 2 beads on the other side. So there's the second one. So now I'm going to pick up 6 of my color for my flower, which in this case is the lighter pink. So there's my 6. And I'm going to come through just the 2 right at the end here. There's the circle. Pick up a size 8 bead. And again, lay it across. And I want to pick up the 2 beads that are directly opposite. So if I lay my thread across, you're going to see it. And that bead will just pop into the center. So you can see how you can alternate and do all sorts of different colors of flowers here. I'll just get one more row of greenery in here so you can see. And these work up fairly fast. So first one you're adding 8 beads. Every one after that you add 6 beads because you already have 2 beads from the previous circle that you did. Or as I said, think of it as a square because you have your sides and your top. So I'll keep working on that and I'll finish it off. Hope you had a good day and enjoyed the video. Have a good day.